Ring center. Okay, fellas. Trunks are high here. So punches here, not unless they come down a little bit,
take them down.
We'll be okay. That's much better, much better. Okay, fellas, we're good on both sides now. Now, guys, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
It has been 2 years since Gerald Washington has fought a southpaw, but he says two of my most devastating knockouts have come against southpaw. Amir Mansour, he says this is going to be an easy fight for him. He's surprised. He says that it will even go the distance. This is round one of our main event. Mansour in the black trunks, the gray trim, and it's Washington in the red trunks.
Well, it might be too early to see how significant it is, but Washington came out for the instructions and reached out to touch Mansour's glove, and Mansour didn't have none of it.
Oh, he's been offended. Folks, we are commercial free for the rest of this fight. Don't go anywhere. You got two big punchers here in the heavyweight division.
So far in the early part of this fight, Washington cognizant of the distance, doing a good job keeping that left hand extended and controlling so far, but we'll see as the fight progresses if Mansour can work his way inside.
Here's a right hand by Washington.
What I like about Washington too, he's cognizant that the distance will create a better leverage for his right hand, and he's made sure he's done that.
He needs to throw it more on his legs, though, Paul. He's got his legs spread wide, so he's bringing his head with his right hand. And that could be dangerous with a guy like Mansour, particularly from the position that he's in.
A couple of body shots by Mansour.
It was, as I alluded to earlier, Mansour fights small. And see how he brings his head right to Mansour? If Mansour stays stationary and pick up on it, not stationary with his feet, but stationary with his hand on the target, and just meet it in a straight line. For a tall man, his legs are too wide apart. So he's actually pulling his right hand away from Mansour. That's why he's falling forward with it.
How about the message there on the back of Mansour's trunks? Judges, be fair. He said he's had a bad rap his entire life.
Yeah, you're right, Virgie. And you know what? Part of the problem is he's starting to loop the right hand as well.
He's looping it. And Mansour is giving him a small target. He needs to settle down some. But Mansour is staying right where he needs to be. Not saying that we won't backfire on him, but I don't know if Washington really wanted to fight this pace. He should be controlling that Mansour with his jab, not using so much energy to get away from Mansour. You have to have the temperament of a heavyweight if you're going to be the champion. You have to be a mean guy.
Yeah, and that's the one thing his corner has talked about. They want him to be mean. That's why his nickname is the Gentleman and the Black Rooster. But he's a nice guy, and they want him. They said, listen, you're a heavyweight. This is to get her business.
But right now, the pace is just fine, I think, for Washington. I mean, there's been a lot of dead spots as well. We know when it picks up, okay, there's exchanges. There's going to be in a fight, but there's a lot of dead spots as well.
Step back, fellas.
Whereas I think what I'm noticing, Paulie, is that when Mansour attacks, he's not worried about Washington's head right now. He's attacking right in that straight line where he's just trying to reach him and feel him. And Washington needs to be aware of that until he finally comes over the top right there.
Beautiful. That's one in the bank. That's one in the bank. Deep breath. Slow your heart rate down. All I need you to do is breathe and relax.
So the action from that first round, and there's a short loopy right hand, and that's a loopy shot that actually landed, and that might have given Washington that false sense of security to keep throwing it loopy. But when you got a guy as short as Mansour, you're gonna have to shorten it up, shorten up the punches. The loopy shot is gonna go right over his head.
Keep him sitting in the air, but when you take the middle, you can hold your ground a little more with just get big with your hands. You understand what I'm saying? I like the footwork, but there ain't no reason for you to be posting up on the ropes. Get back to the middle, hold him off with your left hand. You see all his shit coming, don't you? Tell me you don't see his shit coming. Deep breath. All good, beautiful. I need more feints though, okay?
That's John Pullman, the trainer of Gerald Washington. Washington's an interesting kid. Again, he served time in the Navy. Then went to USC. Started off as a tight end. Ended up playing defensive end. Played with players like Mark Sanchez and Clay Matthews, Ray Malaluga. All those guys right after they had lost to Texas. Was that 2006?
Yeah, Vince Young in Texas. Yeah. Great national title game with USC in Texas that year.
Tried out a couple of times for a couple of NFL squads, Buffalo and the Seahawks. And then said, you know, boxing's always been my first love. That's why I did it when I was a youngster and just went back to it.
See, Mansour tries to hustle it when he gets close, but it's closing the distance that he's having trouble with. He's looking for more cooperation from Washington. If Washington keeps his punches straight, there will be no cooperation. And Mansour on his own doesn't seem like he's capable of closing that distance.
He's almost fighting a cat fight right now. You know, he's punching from everywhere. He hasn't settled down yet and pick his openings, because Washington is open, bringing his head forward like he's doing and having his legs wide. Very simple to see the openings. But Mansour has to stand his ground in that moment and step in at the same time Washington throws his right hand. He has to beat him to the punch. And he's not in a position to do it.
I can tell you, if Washington throws the right hand straight and not loopy, I don't think he'll ever give up any distance in this fight, because Mansour is not exactly pushing the pace himself.
Exactly.
He's only putting out the offense in spurts when Washington closes the distance himself with those loopy shots.
And Mansour is an interesting guy. I mean, he went to prison in August of 2001. Spent 8.5 years in prison for selling drugs. Came back out, resumed his boxing career in 2010. Then went right back to prison for a probation violation. Released from prison in July of 2012 and resumed his career boxing once again. He said the one thing is, now that he's on the straight and narrow, he said, I never wanted to be an embarrassment to my kids. I wanted to make my mother and my kids proud of me.
Washington's talking to Mansour, so obviously he feels confident. Now, Paulie, the rap on Washington has been after 5 or 6, he sort of fades. His punch count goes way down, and he has no knockouts, I believe, after the 5th or 6th round. So this being a duration fight, we'll have to see how it turns out.
Yeah, all 11 of his knockouts have happened within 5 rounds for Washington.
So far, the pace is just fine for Washington, though. If he's going to get tired, it's going to have to be Mansour to pick up the pace, so that forced Washington to be tired.
Deep breath. Right down. Bro, easy work, baby.
Some of that action from this past round we just watched, and is Washington trying to measure the distance and then a straight right hand. If he throws the right hand straight, Mansour will not be able to close distance. The only time Mansour is able to close distance is when he starts looping shots. What does Washington?
All I need you to do is breathe, baby. All day long.
Double jab, move your head with the jab. When you turn, you got to throw that anaconda when you turn.
It's behind my head.
Okay. Deep breath. Good work. Good work. Want some in your mouth? All right.
It's just the 3rd time that Gerald Washington has faced the southpaw. First time was back in August 2013. He stopped Jerry Forrest. And in November of 2012, he stopped Brandon Spencer. There's a right hand by Washington.
And although it was partially blocked, the fact that it was straight maintained that distance.
Right hook by Mansour.
That's what we want to see Mansour doing more of. Getting busy once he gets close. I don't know if Washington turned southpaw there, but that's the right idea. Washington turned southpaw for just a quick second and threw a hook, right, Rich?
I'm waiting to see what the anaconda is. Mansour's corner told him when he turned with the double jab to bring out the anaconda, and I'm waiting to see this, because It might be something we all can use in the future.
Well,
I thought he had Nicki Minaj over there in that corner when he said that. I'm like, is Nicki Minaj here?
apparently it's something they want Mansour. It's something they feel Mansour could use. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, we got to find out what that is. Anaconda. Look, you don't take anything away from these savvy trainers. They got names for everything. And I'm sure it works for him if he gets it off.
I will say, man.
Is it a constricted punch or is it a strike punch? We don't know.
Mansour, Washington can win this fight just on his jab alone.
Yeah.
Because if he keeps a consistent jab, control the pace, I mean, he can literally control this fight without even throwing a right hand.
We're halfway through round 3. Gerald Washington taking on Amir Mansour. And again, you talk about Washington, his nickname is El Gallo Negro, the Black Rooster. His mother's Mexican, his father is African American. He said roosters in Mexico, you know, they fight a lot. They're supposed to be known as valiant and fight to the death. He says that describes me.
Mansour's ear's bleeding.
Yeah, he's got blood coming from the ear. The left ear of Amir Mansour.
Well, Washington is fighting a safe fight, too, right now. And I mean, you know, you can't knock the strategy to get the victory. But as you go up the ladder, you know, you wonder if that's going to be enough for him to fulfill his goals.
Well, that's the thing, too, though. He's got a dangerous puncher in front of him. A lot of times with dangerous punches, Virgin, you take less chances than you would maybe with the guy who's not such a big puncher. Mansour has that big punching reputation.
Well, he's the bigger man. He's the stronger man, apparently. He has the height and the reach, and then he's going to have to announce his arrival in the heavyweight division if he wants to be significant. He's going to have to come as an outlaw.
I see.
He can't come in as the new sheriff. He's got to come in as an outlaw. He can't come in as a nice guy.
I see your point, Virg. This is a guy that's got one loss against an ex-world champion, so even just getting the win will look good on his resume.
Well, tomorrow it's an incredible day of baseball on FS1 as we bring you a doubleheader of Game 5s in the ALDS. First, it's the Rangers Blue Jays. Then it's Astros Royals in a winner-take-all action. The coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern. And the only place you can see the actions tomorrow here on FS1.
So, man, so when he does get inside, he does do some work. It's just a matter of he's not getting inside enough. And here's he got underneath Washington's left hook, and he's able to throw a little short right hook inside.
Think, hold it back, and take another step and throw the left hand. The jab, step again, then left hand. You get closer and closer.
That punch hit right on the side. It was a legal punch.
Here we go, round 4, as we take a look at the punch stats through round 3. Washington has thrown nearly 90 punches, 31% of those. Mansour has thrown over 100, but landed just 19. Take a look at how you fans have got this fight scored thus far. You've got Washington in the shutout thus far. 3 rounds. Here's a jab by Mansour. Washington pops him back. Washington
Right there, you saw Washington jab and pull away at the same time. And that's what you don't want to see from a big man who has aspirations to be a heavyweight champion. He literally ran at him with a jab and ran the other way to get out the way. Like that.
But I think what he's doing, Virg, is trying to set a trap. He's trying to jab step back because he knows Mansour is looking to react with a big shot. I think at times he's jabbing, stepping back, looking to fill that void, looking for Mansour to fill that void so he can do something like that.
Well,
you can see Washington becoming a lot more confident as he continues to land that right hand.
Mansour has to time him coming in. That was a nice hand by Washington. That's what I'm talking about, Paulie. I'm agreeing with you. He has to be mean. You have to have a mean streak in you to be the heavyweight champion. If you're going to be the kingpin, you have to be mean.
Any champion, for that matter.
Right.
Washington came into this fight with a heavy heart. His father, who was coming to the fight, got ill on his way here. There's that one came a little low. You see Kenny Bayless say, bring it up. He's in the hospital now watching the fight from his hospital bed. So we want to send out our best wishes to Gerald Washington Sr. And obviously this being breast cancer month, Washington's Aunt Mabel passed away from breast cancer. So he's coming into this fight with a heavy heart.
And here's that low blow. No doubt about it.
All right, ready?
Well, it's one thing to be in a tough fight. It's another thing to be going through a tough situation. So my heart goes out to Washington.
Under a minute here in round 4. And it has been a fight thus far, Paulie. As you pointed out, Washington had to control this fight with his distance, his range, and he's done that thus far through 3 rounds. Misses with that right hand.
Mansour is just not able to come up with any ideas to close that distance.
There's another right hand by Washington.
And again, that straight one. You see, and he tried a loopy one and he missed it, and Mansour was able to work inside.
I think Mansour feels like he needs a knockout here to get the victory. I don't know, you know, with the
I think he came out
judges
with that
be fair.
Yeah, and I think he came out with that mentality, Virgil.
Yeah, on the back of his shorts. He probably feels like he needs a knockout victory, that he can't get a decision.
In Washington smiling at Mansour. He pops the jab and gives a little movement here.
Good work. Deep breath. Keep boxing like that.
Right here we see Washington coming with a nice uppercut as Mansour drifts in and drifts over to his right. Right here you see Mansour going over and he comes over to his right and comes right into the trajectory of the uppercut. As Paulie said earlier, if he throws that straight right hand, it's going to get through frequently. There's an example of it right there.
He's going to be there with various counter shots. And then clean it up with the hook once in a while, okay? Beautiful work. Deep breath. Looking good. That's point and bang. Hey, you're on your way, Gerald. You're on your way. Deep breath. Stay focused. Stay focused, remember? Finish this job, man. Round 5. Round 5. Round 5.
This is round 5 of our main event. We're scheduled for 10. Gerald Washington, he's never been down in his pro career. He's undefeated. He's in the red trunks, taking on Amir Mansour. Mansour, just 1 defeat, 23 fights. He's been down once against Steve Cunningham. Shelton, Washington at the Little Creek Casino and Resort.
Paulie, at some point, would you like to see him bring a left hook off of that straight right?
Yeah, you know, I'd like to see if he can get a consistency going with the right hand, him coming back with the hook, or even what I like to see is even a hook off the jab. You know, speaking of the left hook, sometimes even if you don't come back with the right hand, he's using the jab as such a good distance controller and range controller. Maybe you can hook right off that jab.
You can see Mansour trying to get in the inside.
Yeah, I mean, Mansour needs cooperation. He just can't figure out a way to close distance otherwise. He needs Washington to make a mistake or whatnot. Otherwise, he's totally confused with closing the distance.
Looks like he's trying to bring Washington to him this round. He did actually land a nice left jab up top on Washington.
And that's the thing. You're trying to make Washington give up his height. It seems like Washington has the good game plan to maintain that distance, so it's not going to be easy to just make him give up that height unless you force him to. Mansour cannot accept those clinches like that. Too easily accepting those clinches. Washington held on to him. Bayless said work out. Gave him a chance to keep working out of it. He didn't, so Bayless was forced to break him.
40 seconds now here in round 5.
There's that left hook, Birch.
Yeah, there's a left hook off the right. But Paulie Washington has a nice straight right.
Yeah, that connects by Washington.
Yeah, I think he's fighting a very disciplined fight. It's one of those fights where, you know, you keep a game plan, you don't take too many chances because your opponent can punch. And it's a good win on his resume. Because again, Mansour's only other defeat is to a former world champion, Steve Cunningham. The headbutt.
There's a left hook there by Mansour.
That's what Mansour needs to do. He needs to get his hands moving when he's on the inside. Be a little rough in there.
Well, we told you that before Gerald Washington was boxing, he also played football at USC. Arrived on campus 2006, where he started off as a tight end, ended up as a defensive end, and got the opportunity, he said, to play a couple of Rose Bowls. Played along with Mark Sanchez and Clay Matthews, guys like that. Virgil, give me your thoughts on, we've seen that. Deontay Wilder expressed his interest in wanting to play football. Now these heavyweights who are former football players.
Well, you know, the heavyweights are getting older and older. They're maturing later. And a lot of athletes that, you know, that it was a saying to say that, you know, the heavyweight champion is playing football. Now it's a lot of football players coming out want to be the heavyweight champion. Most of them, the majority of them, have found it very difficult to be the heavyweight champion because boxing, you have to start in your formative years. They miss out on that formative stamina and also the technique because most of the time they're already grown. So it's a difficult road up. But maybe Washington can do it. Many have failed. Seth Mitchell, to name some, Too Tall Jones, Mark Gastineau, to name a few.
We're at the halfway point here of our main event. Gerald Washington and Amir Mansour.
In the last 30 seconds of the last round, Paulie, it seemed like Mansour found something. He started to get his left hand in position by literally charging at Washington.
That happens a lot of times when you get orthodox fighter fighting a southpaw. Feet get tangled.
Like right there, but you wonder if his age would limit him on how many times that he would want to push that particular technique. Right now he's being very aggressive. It looks like he's just going for broke and said, okay, let me see if you're a big man, if you're going to fight me back or you're going to pull away when I come.
There's the left hand that gets in by Mansour.
And that's what you want to see. Mansour getting close and moving his hands, getting those combinations. A lot of times he gets close and he's loading up one shot at a time. That time he at least put some punches together.
Right there you saw Washington throw a hook and pull away. Now if he intends to hurt Mansour, he won't hurt him with that one. He has to stand his ground and say, I'm a big man, I'm strong, I'm superior, I'm going up the ladder, you're too little, and I'm gonna put you out.
Right hand connects here with the halfway point of round 6. Get a quick look at our fans' unofficial scorecard. We've asked you to score these rounds for us, and thus far, you've given the first 4 rounds to Gerald Washington. You gave the last round to Mansour.
First time Washington ties up. He has to get back to that. He's letting Mansour close the distance on him now. Anytime a short man can touch your chest with a jab, he's just a half a step behind to put the punch over the top. Like right there.
Yeah, here in round 6.
And those body shots, he's hitting him in the chest with, trust me, they will drain you. And hitting the sternum shots.
He's starting to at least push the pace a little more, is Mansour. I still don't think Washington looks too uncomfortable, but we'll see if Mansour can gain some consistency if Washington does become uncomfortable.
Well, he's uncomfortable, Paulie, because he's throwing a punch and trying to get out the way at the same time. I understand definitely what you say about him playing it safe. But Mansour is still closing the gap regardless.
Yeah, especially this last round, round and a half or so.
Yeah, last couple of rounds, Mansour's been the one pushing the pace and throwing a lot more punches than Washington. There's a good exchange at the bell. Well, Paulie, we talked at the top. Give me one simple thing that Washington needs to do to be successful. You talked about the range, using the length. What have you seen thus far?
Well, I think through the first 4 rounds, he did it very well. Now the last couple of rounds, Mansour has gotten a little bit closer, so we'll see if he's able to maintain that kind of plan as the fight progresses in the late rounds. Here we see some highlights of that jab. Straight right hand here. Again, these are things that will control and maintain your distance. But these last couple of rounds, Mansour's done a better job of closing it.
Don't give this motherfucker no.
This is a very pivotal round right here. Washington's corner is really giving him a going over. They feel like he let the last 2 get away. They told him how important it is for him to win 7, 8, 9, and 10.
You get a feeling that maybe the momentum swing is turning towards Mansour's corner. He's picked up the pace, he seems like here.
Well, he's starting to get to the target, most definitely the last 2 rounds. He's getting closer and closer, and Gerald's just pulling back and not making him pay for that. Yeah. He's not standing his ground.
And Gerald's gonna have to meet him with some shots, otherwise Mansour's gonna get more confident.
And he's starting to wing his punches, and he's starting to hold on now. So you wonder if fatigue is setting in. Or we talked about the formative years where you develop that toughness, you develop that skill meanness. And there is a such thing as skill meanness, to let him know you can't penetrate. If you do, you're gonna take punishment coming in. He's allowing him in and he's running away. Right there.
Minute gone here in round 7. Certainly want to apologize if you heard.
Let's see how this one goes.
Certainly want to apologize if you've heard any foul language in the corner. These guys, that happens. Certainly want to apologize for that.
Washington's not doing much of anything right now except moving and looking for 1 punch at a time and getting out the way when he throws that. He's really going into a danger zone here unless he does something big. If I didn't know better, Paulie, I would think he's getting confused.
Yeah.
By the aggression.
Yeah,
nice shot.
It's gonna come down to character here. It's either character traits here. Let's see. Mansour's looking to push the issue. He's willing to suffer to get this win. We'll see if Gerald Washington is able to make some adjustments here.
Well, you wonder what's going through Mansour's mind right now. Is he thinking about all that time he did and all the time that he lost during the time that he did? He don't want to let this one get away. He can smell it now.
He's coming after Washington. He's got him in the corner.
And this is the work he should have been doing early on. Better late than never, but he's starting to close the distance close the gap on the lead Washington developed early on.
Washington's looking to throw 1 punch and get out and hope he lands it.
Oh, that one, a big looping left hook by Mansour.
If he lets this happen, he's standing straight up, Paulie, for something to go over the top. Mansour is on a roll now. He's working the body and the head. Washington seems tired, and he's moving away.
And here comes Amir Mansour.
He's falling into the chair. He's falling into the chair. Work on the ear, work on his ear. You need the other side, you need the ear. I got you. Amir, perfect. You got to keep that pressure on him now. What round is this?
Don't worry. Stay focused, y'all. Let me get this here. Let me get this here.
That's all right.
8th round. No. 8th round.
8, 9, 10. We got 3 more rounds, baby.
Hand me that bag.
You might be a little head. You gotta keep
Well, you hear the corner of Amir Mansour say, listen, you got to put the pressure on him now. He's feeling the pressure.
His trainer gave him some great instructions, and the first thing he told Mansour when he came back that Washington just collapsed into his chair, and Washington is showing obvious fatigue, and if Mansour continues to sense that, he's going to press the issue. He's giving Mansour a second win, not only a second win, but motivation, and also his killer instinct is emerging. He's trying to finish this job.
Keep in mind, Gerald Washington has never gone 10 rounds.
Washington has to come out and he has to reassert himself, and he has to do it now.
Washington has gone 8 rounds 3 times in his career thus far. Take a look at the total punch numbers here.
Now right there you see that. That's almost amateurish, Paulie, when you first learn how to box, how you throw a punch.
Big right hook there by Mansour.
Mansour's reaching, swinging for the fences now.
He is.
And he's landing some good body shots, Paulie.
Yep.
And Washington is standing straight up.
And the activity is, even if Washington tries to say it's not hurting him, the activity is going to win the round for Mansour. Washington just has to get to work, or at least control the distance better, because Mansour is not closing the distance and able to get that work in there.
He's getting it in there. And Washington is letting him get his breaths as he comes forward to continue to work. He's not making him pay for it in between the shots.
Yep.
He's letting Mansour get 4 and 5 and 6 breaths as he walks forward.
Good point.
So when he gets there, he's ready to punch.
Good point, Bird. Good point, because Mansour is easily expending a lot of energy
He's
throwing those
expending
hard.
a lot of energy, and he's not making him pay, Paulie.
Yep.
Mansour, 43 years old. Washington, 33.
But again, you got to talk about the character of Mansour. He's willing to suffer. He's willing to suffer and be tired and just get in the trenches and do all that work. Washington just looks like he wants to stay comfortable, you know, and it's costing him these rounds.
Body shot there by Mansour. He's trying to work Washington into the corner.
Again, talk about willing to suffer. Mansour is tired, yes, but he's willing
to coming forward.
Get in those trenches.
But Washington is more tired, so Mansour is going to be motivated to keep pushing it.
I think they're both tired. Virgil is just about Mansour has the more motivation. He's showing more character right now.
Good body shot by Mansour underneath. A great body shot underneath. Washington felt that shot. Left underneath. He really felt it. The thing is, I talked about the formative years, the formative stamina that you need. Mansour has that. He's been boxing since he was young, so he didn't lose that.
Plus, he said when you have a man who, he said in this condition, has been away from prison 8.5 years, taking to have something that he's loved taken away from him. He said you've got to have resiliency and tenacity to not give up.
And this is what he's showing, Brian. He's showing all of it right now, particularly the last 4 rounds.
Crowd loves the action here, and Verge, we talked about one thing that Mansour has to do to be successful tonight. Let's revisit that.
Well, as I said earlier, he has to close the distance. He has to fight small, which he's doing. He's landing a nice body shots now, and he's coming back over the top. Again, now you see Washington bent over in the corner like he's almost giving up. They're going to have to wake him up. But this, again, is what I said about football players coming into this sport of boxing. This is a very brutal sport. It's not like you got a helmet on and shoulder pads and the whole bit and timeouts. You don't have timeouts. Nobody can come and replace you. It's not a game. It's serious business. And Mansour is exhibiting that right now.
Again, we asked you, the fans, to score this fight for us as we go to our fan unofficial scorecard. As we enter round 9. And how about this? Our fans have Mansour winning the last 4 rounds, and you have it even as we get into the critical round 9.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, I think Mansour made a conscientious decision that I'm not going to let this fight slip away. And I'm going to go for the win. And Washington just never made that decision. He got into that false sense of security as early on. It was a slow pace and he was able to control it, but that's not the case anymore. He's got to make the adjustment now.
You heard the corner of Mansour telling him, we love what you're doing, but we need more. We want more pressure on him.
He's letting Mansour just do what he wants to do now. He has to make him pay when he exerts himself, but he's just not doing it. And he doesn't have anything on the punch now. He's just telegraphing everything he does. He's tired from the body shots, Mansour really worked the body the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So now Washington is stationary. When Mansour comes, he just simply pulls away.
Yeah, and he's throwing what I call stay away from me punches.
Yeah.
You know, where they're just like,
please don't hit me.
yeah, there's no intention of damage or no intention of scoring. It's just maybe if I touch him with this one, he'll leave me alone kind of thing. And you can't have that mentality, especially as the late rounds approach.
He's not going to leave you alone. Not doing 8.5 years in prison.
That left hook grazed the chin of Washington.
Now he shoves him off using his size, but he doesn't make him pay, so he lets him get more breaths and comes back and works some more.
And when he shoves him off, should Washington be going
Washington
forward?
should take advantage of that. That's a big man shoving you. It takes a lot out of you when he shoves you, but he lets him get 3 or 4 breaths to walk back, and by the time he gets there, he's fresh again. Because he's well conditioned. Big shot over the top. He's just missing.
Mansour's not taking over an answer, that's for sure.
Washington is fighting like he just doesn't want to get knocked out.
Right here, need to be first, right here. Right here, he should be first.
Right here, yeah.
You hear his corner yelling jab. You can hear it from the corner. He's not jabbing, though.
Throws one wild punch, I hope I hit you, and he's dog tired. It shows it right there. But instead of him going right back, he lets Mansour come again. See?
A little sharp counter right hand there, but again, it's just not enough work to control the round. And right here, he's got to be first. These are the moments he got to be first. First right there with a good right hand.
And he pushes Mansour back. Catches him with a right hand there.
Washington is tired. This is what you call a fighter here, not being denied.
Yeah, Mansour, man, he will not be denied at all.
And to be 43 years old, you have to take your hat off to him.
Yeah.
It shows the resilience of a man.
He's showing how much he wants it. I tell you, man, he just wants it more than Washington right now. It's going to come down to this last round, I think, guys.
I think so.
This is
It's
going to be a very
close.
important round.
Deep breath, deep breath. Come on, work on this nose. Deep breath, man. This is it, baby. This is it, man. Last round.
10th and final round. Touch gloves when you come out.
Man, listen, man. All out, man. All out. We gotta have this round. We've got to win this round, without a doubt. You gotta get low, like I tell you. Don't stand up there with him. Remember that. Just bend your knees down and get down under this shit.
Well, I just don't like Washington's body language. If he comes out and fights, I hope he does. I don't like his body language, how he's bending over. It's like a lot is going on through his mind, wondering how he got himself into this.
Here is the 10th and final round. Once again, got to apologize for the language you heard in the corners.
3 minutes now, man. So let's see what kind of decision both of these guys make to try to take this last round, because this can mean the fight.
Gerald Washington, he's 16-0. You take a look at the punch stats. Amir Mansour, just 1 loss. He's been managed by Johan, that longtime fixture of the boxing scene there in Philadelphia. There's a right hand.
Again, he didn't make him pay for exerting himself. Exhausted, that's the problem.
10th and final round, we go to our unofficial scorecard from you, the fans.
He finally lands a straight right.
You've got Mansour up by 1 point going into this 10th and final round. Minute gone here.
Well, you have to give Mansour the rounds just on sheer tenacity. If you're looking for effective aggression, he's exhibiting that. Washington's whole body language says that I don't want this fight. His body language is telling everything. Whether Mansour misses or whatever, Washington's body language. Now he's talking instead of fighting.
Did you hear Mansour just tell him, fight me?
Mansour's got to cut the ring off and force him to fight, though. He's chasing him in circles. He'd make his life a lot easier if he cut the ring off.
Well, I don't know what he thinks Mansour's been doing. You can't con your way through. You have to be the boss. He came in with James Brown, paid the cost to be the boss. Well, you have to be the boss. You have to want to be the boss.
A little jab by Mansour.
Washington's on southpaw, and I went back to right-handed.
We are under a minute here in the 10th and final round.
Tell you, Mansour's pushed the paces round, but he hasn't landed a lot.
Here's a left hand.
Sheer aggression. He's winning the round. You got to give it to somebody, so you have to give it to Mansour for sheer effort. He's showing that he wants it more.
Last 30 seconds. Oh, here's a right hand that touches him by Washington. Last 10 seconds of this fight.
Washington's a good kid, but I don't like to see this in a heavyweight.
Oh, grab shot after the belt.
Yes. Who won this fight? When we come back, the judge's official decision. You're watching Toe to Toe Tuesday here on FS1. As we await for the judge's official decision, and let's take a look at our fans' unofficial scorecard. How about this? You've got Amir Mansour winning this fight. We want to thank you for helping us out. Take a look at the punch stats. Washington landed 28% of his punches through 380 punches. Mansour threw 450. He landed 22%. As we take a look here at this fight, it was a fight that Gerald Washington dominated early. Mansour, the middle late. Let's get the judge's official decision. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Adelaide Bird, scores the contest 97-93 for Washington. Judge Steve Morrow sees the bout 96-94 for Mansour. And Judge Pat Russell sees the contest 95-95. This bout has been declared a split draw.
So the judges have this as a draw. What'd you think, real quick, Virgil? What'd you think of that decision?
Personally, I had Mansour winning the fight by 2 rounds.
Just like the fans.
Just like the fans, I had him winning the fight. It was obvious that he closed the show. He crossed the finish line. Look, this is boxing. You hate to see a situation where a man is working hard, trying to overcome things in life. It's tough. My heart goes out to him.
You see Mansour and Washington there talking. Let's go up into the ring. Our Paulie Malignaggi now with Gerald Washington.
All right, guys, we got Gerald Washington here. Gerald, well, first of all, what do you think about that decision?
I think it's a terrible decision. I definitely won the fight. No doubt about it. I won the first 4 rounds for sure. I rested up a little bit in the middle. I was getting myself back the last 3, 4, man. He wasn't even touching me. He was chasing me around. He wasn't landing any shots at all.
When he picked up the aggression in the middle rounds, what was the corner telling you to try to counteract that?
Just jab, straight punches, because he was going crazy. Just throw the straight punches. I was landing all the good shots, man. He didn't land any good shots on me, man.
You know, would you do a rematch, or be interested in that?
Why? If they're going to do me like that, you know what I'm saying? Look at his face, man. Look at his ear. You know what I'm saying? Look at my face, man. I didn't take no punishment. I'm boxing smart. This is how they want to punish smart fighters, man. He was being aggressive, but I was landing all the shots.
All right, thanks, Joe. We're going to talk to Amir Mansour now. Thank you, Joe. We'll talk to Amir Mansour.
How you doing?
Good, Joe. Amir, so what do you think of this decision, and what's your concept of how the fight played out?
He landed some good shots in there, but you know, I landed the most of the shots. I kept the fight active. I gave the crowd something that they wanted to see. I gave the crowd excitement. That's why they're cheering me and they're booing him. I'm a boxing fan's boxer.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm a promoter's dream. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about me getting the right people behind me. I told Joe Hand that I'll win this fight for him as a birthday gift. I'm sorry, Joe. I did my best. The cornermen had me winning. The fans had me winning. Only the judges didn't. And I'm sure you did too. But long story short, man, you know, I knew what it was before I came over here. You know, Al Heyman territory. I knew if I didn't blow him out, I wasn't going to get the decision. I'm actually surprised they even gave me a draw.
Well, how do you explain the slow start? Because it felt like once you got going, you picked up some good momentum. But early on, how do you explain that slow start?
Well, he was a bit awkward. I was just trying to gauge the height difference, you know what I'm saying? And after 1 or 2, 3 rounds top of getting my, ring generalship together and gauging the distance between him and I felt like I started pressing him, forcing the action, obviously, landing the most shots, you know what I'm saying, tearing his body up, He couldn't take the body punches. He was running out of gas. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give the crowd a fight. He didn't give himself a fight, And that's just a poor way of winning a fight or even getting a draw, man. This is boxing. This is fighting. You're supposed to come in there and rumble, not run the whole night.
Thanks a lot, Amir. Thanks for the performance tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Paulie, thank you very much. So this one ends in a draw for Paulie Malignaggi, Virgil Hunter. I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching Premier Boxing Champions here on FS1.